They've thought they were so powerful ever since Rob Ford, and it's changed Toronto significantly and the rest of Canada significantly. It used to be so much better here, but I can tell you it's starting to feel like the old days, like with Stephen Harper and before it, like it was relatively good in Canada, but it's starting to feel like the old days again. But it's going to take a lot of work, a lot more work, work from our law enforcement to locate these certain ones, like Top 5 and others. Okay, they got a lot of people that were doing it. Who, okay, it's like even my brother John Gotti. Now they have to tell me themselves he's not in my jurisdiction, but he's done some bad stuff. And he tries to frame me for stuff. But all I do is sit on the computer and work and whatnot, and that's not illegal to sit on your computer and work. We live in a free country. And anybody can create a YouTube channel. And unless you actually violate the law, like in an aggressive nature or whatever, you're not doing anything wrong. But we need law enforcement to locate these people and send them to jail and keep them there. The ones that aren't doing anything productive for society, they take up space, and they also think it's cool to do bad things. And I think Gotti's getting it now. It isn't even necessarily Gotti. It's even ones that are in power. I went to that Jane and Finch Mall. And I have a video where I purchased a Chinese meal, and this security guard, I have to find it on YouTube. Well, he never touched me, but there's a couple security guards that have touched me for doing nothing wrong here in Canada. I was a tourist of Toronto. Actually, a lot of my family comes from Toronto. And everyone knows Jane and Finch is a bad area. Like, if you search up Jane and Finch on here, but it's relatively good. But it scares me, but it's a relative, like, I've heard a lot of things about there. But, yeah, I was here, and I bought some stuff from some stores. I bought this Gucci hat. But I think he did it sort of gimmicky. But he wasn't the one that broke my back, but there was some security guards in London that broke my back. And I had to be hospitalized for 3 months, and that was one of the things. And actually, I had to self-hospice due to that broken back. Now, this guy didn't do necessarily anything too bad, but he did tell me to leave. And I was already leaving, but I like what he did. It was all right, but it's unnecessary like, I like the video, but if I ever were to return, I'm scared that I would get hurt. That's why I don't return right now. But unfortunately, I didn't get it on video, but I got severely injured over at LHSC. I required assistance due to my diabetes at the time. Now it's been taken care of, where I've received my entitlement in ODSP, got that filled out, and got somewhat diagnosed. This was before COVID-19 or whatever. And the security literally kicked me in my back. And they didn't even, and the charges, the police dropped it, and the security officer should be, the charges have been dropped. They tried to charge me with trespassing, but I'm a natural-born Canadian citizen with a valid health card. Okay? So you cannot deny me assistance in the hospital. I am a natural-born citizen with that valid health card. I am entitled to health coverage. And I did receive it after a long fight. 3-4 years, or no, not 3-4 years, sorry. I spent 3 months in hospital and they still didn't give me the right care. I needed ultrasound and whatnot, but I've gotten that ODSP now. But that's just the start. I need surgeries. I just had to get oral surgeries done. That I'm gonna have to get oral surgeries for the rest of my life because of these assaults that these bad people have done. And like I said, they tried to charge me. I was not charged. The charges were immediately dropped. And how dare they kick me in my back and break my back? That's assault causing bodily harm, and that is an indictable offense. That means that if I can prove beyond the reasonable doubt, now unfortunately I didn't get x-rays, but I do have a collaborative witness out of Windsor, Ontario that I may be able to garner, that I was bedridden. And I could also get admittance of guilt out of these individuals, as well as camera evidence for the offenses of assault causing bodily harm, where the person applied a force intentionally to cause that mutilation or whatever, where they broke my back. Okay, he put me into custody and then he broke my back. They also stabbed me in my hand with a knife. I've never heard of security practices where you, I understand, maybe put me into custody for trespassing, but then to boot me into the spine, as well as the had made the a motion to boot me in my face, which would have got them even harder, but he knew he knew not to do it. And I'm coming for that assault. And I have an officer that also can testify. The one that dropped the charges. That I was assaulted severely. Causes every assault with a weapon or causing bodily harm. Every person is guilty of an indictable offense. That means that it doesn't matter if you weren't charged that day, buddy. You can now be indicted. That means that I can have you arrested, and the courts can indict you, meaning bring up charges on you anytime from now into the future. And you are liable to imprisonment for a term of not more than 10 years. And I'm asking for the full maximum sentence on this one. It took 6 months of bedriddenness, as well as thousands and thousands of dollars for self-hospice. That person would be guilty if they assaulted, which caused a bodily harm to the complainant, which is me, and they did. And if you disfigured my spine, and you wounded and maimed me with that stabbing in my palm of my hand, you are looking at an indictable 10 years. Or an indictable charge that carries a sentence of 10 years. What was I going to go into next? Yes, that is a practice that is not legal. And from now until the day we perish, I can indict you on the. I can have you indicted on those charges. So I will be doing that. Okay, that is my daily goal, is to have these people indicted. Okay, I also had to pay for self-hospice. People say, what the heck is self-hospice? Well, it's usually when it's usually a wealthier person that has, it's very hard to find here, but there's a book I read about it before. It's when you have your own place and you receive hospital care or are in hospital care at your own home or apartment or whatever. And that cost thousands of dollars when I was bedridden because of that. And it's costing my government money anyway for those oral surgeries. And you can see that video on YouTube of one of my oral surgeries that cost the insurance probably thousands of dollars. Will over time for sure. I know it's a $250 procedure that I had to have done just to fill this tooth that was the product of that assault, and another one. And then the reason why it's going to cost thousands of dollars over time is because now it has to be maintained. So it's a $250 surgery that my government is required to pay probably every 4 to 5 years. So I'm only 27 now. So our average life expectancy is 81.95 years. So say I make it to 76, you're going to be paying there's going to be thousands of dollars paid to maintain this dental because of these illegal acts. So I pushed the government of Canada to take care of these people because they're costing us money, and they should pay for what they've done. That's costing us, our taxpayers will and has already money.